Spider blood, radioactive spider blood, Spider-Man. We're gonna watch Cosmic Wonder, New Secret, Spider-Man, movie revealed, new Avenger, question marks, all caps. Let's watch this video right now. By the way, follow us on the Stardust app. 30-second reviews for films, TV shows, and or trailers. Posting so damn often, it's free to download, free to use. You can use it too. Hey, yep, it's all in the description box. Would love it if you did it. Let's go into this.
Follow us first.
How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to my channel, The Cosmic Wonder, where we talk about everything Marvel and all.
You going on new rock stars yet or not, Warren?
Today
by the way,
talking about our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and what Sony plans on doing with that character and other characters involved in Sony Spider-Verse, or as they're calling it now, their Spider-Man universe of characters, or Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters. Just based off of that name, it certainly seems that they have a lot of plans for Spider-Man and other characters that come from the Spider-Man universe. Venom, Morbius, Kraven the Hunter, etc. All of which are going to be a part of the MCU or bleed over into the MCU, like we saw in the Morbius trailer. The picture of Spider-Man on the wall that said murderer over it, and then Vulture showing up at the end as well. And it seems like Sony has even more plans for a spin-off Spider-Man film. And we officially have some news about the current project. So we'll break it all down in this video, but first, if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all things Marvel, and so you can enter this week's giveaway for a chance to win a Black Widow Funko Pop. All you gotta do is subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment down below. So Sony has recently booked a release date for an untitled Sony/Marvel film, dated for October in 2021. This is confirmed to be a Spider-Man universe movie. Now, of course, since the announcement of this, speculations have begun to arise, and there have been plenty of movies that have been rumored to be in development at Sony. Kraven the Hunter, Madam Web, Spider-Woman. Well, now thanks to a few recent reports, it seems like we know what this movie is going to be. Here's what a report from Variety had to say. Veteran TV director S.J. Clarkson has signed on to develop the first female-centric movie from Sony's catalog of Marvel characters. While it's unconfirmed at the time who the character at the center will be, insiders say there is a strong possibility that the film will be based on the Madam Web comic book character. However, recently, insiders have reported that this is most likely going to be a Spider-Woman film. But just to clarify, right now it is confirmed that Sony is planning on developing a Spider-Woman film and a Madam Web film as well.
And then they're gonna see which one's better.
Some people thought they were the same, but they are confirmed to be different. And thanks to a new recent report, we have more information about the development of the Spider-Woman film. According to Charles Murphy from murphysmultiverse.com,
Spider-Woman's an interesting character, man.
The Spider-Woman film is well underway. Sony has hired executive Palak Patel to oversee the development of the film, and they've also hired Rachel O'Connor to oversee the project as well, and Amy Pascal to produce it. So
Amy Pascal?
The Spider-Woman film, and Amy Pascal also produced the recent Spider-Man movies as well, Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, in regards to the story for Spider-Woman, Charles Murphy has revealed that it is in fact going to be Jessica Drew as Spider-Woman. Now, this is very interesting.
She's a dark character.
Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew, eventually goes on to become a new Avenger. And then she also goes on to join the Secret Wars event. And the Secret Wars event is most likely the next Avengers Endgame level event that we're going to get in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This means that Sony and Marvel could be sharing another character, Spider-Woman, in the MCU, much like they do with the regular Tom Holland Spider-Man. There's another important thing about Spider-Woman and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that is Hydra. Originally, Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew, thought she was an actual spider, a spider that evolved into a human. But as it turned out, Hydra implanted fake memories of her being a spider into her mind. And there's been rumors recently that Hydra could be reappearing in the MCU. So right now it's looking like we have discovered the secret project that Sony and Marvel are working on together. And it's looking like they may just put Spider-Woman in the MCU to join the new Avengers and eventually go on to be in the Secret Wars event. So let me know what you think about this news, and would you be excited for a Spider-Woman film, and do you want her to be a part of the MCU? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on everything relating to Marvel. For live updates, you can follow me on Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching.
Woof woof. She's got parental problems too.
Hey,
always dealing with parental abandonment, you know?
Dude, that's a big theme in the Marvels.
It's a big theme in a lot of comic book characters. let's get it with Spider-Woman now.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
I mean, I'm not the most familiar with Spider-Woman, unlike John, who is an expert at Spider-Woman.
Got a tattoo.
He knows all about Spider-Woman. But yeah, I'm not the most familiar with her, but whenever I did originally learn about her, I did find her backstory to be quite intriguing because she's dealt a lot with being programmed, being brainwashed, being manipulated, powers given to her, usually done by some type of experiment. I believe she had an origin, and then they redid her origin, changed some of like how she got the powers per se. One was like an experiment from her parents, or her dad more specifically, and then another one happened while her mother was pregnant with her. I think it would be cool to explore that, especially in contrast with a Peter Parker or a Miles Morales type of Spider-Man. Those guys are like, they're in their origin, they're in high school and they get bitten by a radioactive bug and yada yada yada. Where with her backstory, it ties into Hydra and then eventually does become part of the Avengers, but there's something more brooding about her backstory, something that's a lot more dark and I feel more complex, maybe not as relatable as a Miles Morales or a Peter Parker, but you know, it's kind of got a bit of like a Wolverine edge to it, you know,
like a Winter Soldier edge to it, with all the programming and then finally coming around to being, you know, on the side of the heroes. And she's even got S.H.I.E.L.D. involvement at certain points, and she's got that ability to hop through multiverses, and that's going to be a big part of the MCU coming up. So
yeah,
I wouldn't put it past them to totally put that character into their universe if they wanted to, partly because the more superheroines you can get in there right now, I think the better. And if they can share effectively Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I could totally see them sharing Spider-Woman, and that would be a cool new... Yeah. I think it wouldn't be bad necessarily to have maybe Sony develop that and have her play in and out of the MCU and stuff like that, because that gets more flavors and more creators working at this. And, you know, she does seem like a pretty badass character to bring in. And, you know, Spider-Man, we've done a lot of Peter Parker, and now we're breaching the Miles Morales stuff. I'm chewing on this because it's really relatable, and of all the superheroes, Spider-Man is one of the most everyman, and so this to me is going back to a more sort of heavy sci-fi, but being that Spider-Man, you know, is the kind of everyman superhero, it does kind of sound cool to me to see a Spider-Person scenario, but in a more nasty, seedy, espionage type of way, spy training and all that stuff. Black Widow meets Spider-Man, you know?
Yeah, I mean, similar to how Miles Morales has a couple of powers that Peter Parker did not have. She has a few powers that are obviously like Spider-Man, but then there's a couple of other things she can do as well. My favorite one of them being the pheromones ability.
Oh,
where she can manipulate with the pheromone. Yeah, because she's a lady. She can seduce.
That's right.
I secrete an awesome amount of pheromone power as well. That's why men and women are always falling at my feet.
Oh, man.
You guys might look at us through the camera and be like, wow, John's so sexy. But in person, the women and men are always just like, oh my God, Craig, you're so hot. And that's because of my similar ability to Jessica Drew's pheromone powers. I have just as strong of pheromone powers. It smells like dog shit, but... it works. Don't worry about the scent itself.
It smells like Bigfoot's dick.
But it works. That's the thing. It's like you get past the odor of it.
It's Sex Panther.
Because it actually smells, you know? Sometimes pheromones, you can't smell them. My pheromones, they're very tangible. They're in the air.
Yeah, it's like a musk.
Yeah, but it is magnetic.
It is magnetic. Yeah. Truthfully, your pheromones are magnetic.
Yeah, they really are.
They're electrifying.
You know, yeah, she has like her superhuman hearing and superhuman smell. Everything about Spider-Woman that I associate with her obviously is smell.
Hey man, you know, it's an underrated superhero sense, all right? Yeah. So superhuman smell and taste are underrated.
I'm telling you, man, it's awesome. And I believe Miles Morales, at least I remember in the video game trailer, he has a Venom Blast ability. But yeah, I mean, I think the idea of having her in here would be totally awesome. And, you know, woke culture might be ruining everything. It's like, yeah, we have Eddie Brock, and now we got Morbius, and they've been working on Kraven the Hunter, and we got Miles Morales now and Peter Parker. But the second you put a woman in there, woke culture is screwing things up for us.
We should go back to the way it was. Rely on the same few actors playing all the superheroes.
No, I think this would be a great step. But I do think, like, they've had to do a lot of rewriting already, even within the own Sony pictures of Marvel Spider-Man crap. They even redid Venom's origin because of all this stuff with deals and contracts and rights and legalities, blah blah blah. They had to change that up within their own
Film
Spider-Man
business.
universe. You know, and with her backstory that intertwines with Hydra, Shield, Nick Fury, all that, even with the Fantastic Four, I believe like she encounters Alicia Masters along the way, famously played by Kerry Washington. The weird thing with the Spider-Man universe that they have going is all the information we don't really know about their deal with the MCU that they have to work around. Yeah. We'll see what they got in store, man. Spider-Woman could work. All right, guys. Well, what do you think about Spider-Woman being in this spunk?
Just gets catchier every time.
So good, so good. Do you want this or a Madam Web movie more?
Madam Web.
Yeah, everyone's opting for Madam Web.
How cool would that be?
Helen Mirren, Madam Web.
Get a cool ass older lady in there. That's what I want to see. I want out of the box, G.
That's what I want, man. I'm right there with you, John. Subscribe to Cosmic Wonder if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to The Real Rejects. Please click that notification bell to get notified whenever we got a new YouTube video up. Download and follow us on the Stardust app. And of course, peace! Niraj Krishnan. So recently, while talking with Niraj, he sent me over some songs that I believe are in Indian.
Ooh.
I actually listened to, there were 4 songs, I've listened to 3 out of 4 of them so far. Beautiful tunes. They kind of remind me of like a mixture of a whole bunch of classic rock. I didn't understand anything of what was being said because it wasn't spoken in my native tongue, Japanese. So I didn't know what was being said in there the whole time. But I want to thank you for not just the amount of support and contribution you have given our way, but, you know, for also broadening my personal horizons and taste in music. And I believe John could vouch for you on that too.
You've got some great taste in music. You've introduced me to the Church of the Cosmic Skull, among other things. And honestly, this isn't related, but I just think that you should be the first Indian Spider-Man, because think about it. Living on the East Coast, glasses, polite, but maybe not the most confident, outgoing guy, perfect dude to save the city. And also be blasting some wonderful tunes. So you got my vote, Niraj.
Yeah,
Love you, buddy.
Yeah, first Spider-Man to break out into dance choreography.
Second Spider-Man to break out into dance choreography.
Right.
But first Spider-Man to have an ensemble with him for the choreography.
See you, Niraj.